Hey everybody, welcome to another model building workshop. I'm Mr. Allen from the Community Libraries of Providence, and today we're going to look at the Aero C3A. And this kit is by, I think it's, I ended up calling Corpro, but Kovozavadi Prostajov, or KP, I think it's also known as. Yeah, KP. This is kits that came out of the Czechoslovakia back during the 70s, I believe, when it was still a very communist country. But these model kits were exported, and you could build these. And they tend to be fun, but challenging. Very challenging because the molds and the molding process is so it gives you a nice challenge putting these together. I built a number of these as a teen because, well, they were fascinating subject matter and the prices tended to be reasonable. This one says it was $19. I don't know if I actually paid that. Sometimes you can get these at shows and maybe even an antique store for a reasonable deal, because the quality is, like I said, So sometimes I just build them because I want a challenge. I want to see what can I make out of these models. And this was one of those cases because, if I can find it here, there were a number of things that were wrong, a number of things that were difficult. And here's one. As soon as you open the box and you see this, you know you've got problems, because there's no way that those decals are going to work. And even if they did, look how terrible they're going to look. These are so faded with age. Yeesh. Here there are different ways you can try to save these things, but at this point, that is so shot that So I acquired an aftermarket decal sheet and thought I would just do this as a German plane. Instead of being the Czech Aero version, I decided I would do it as the, I think it's called the Siebel, which is the, basically was the German plane, transport plane that the Czechs continued to make after the war as an airliner. So, and this was it's a few examples here of different ways they looked. And one of these on this sheet, I ended up finding a decal set for. I guess the middle one here. Yeah, I ended up doing this one. And I'll show you some other examples in just a second. So here she is, for better or for worse. I'm still working on this kit, and it has a number of issues. So you can see that the cockpit glazing is still pretty poor, and I tried masking that off the best I could. So there's more cleanup I got to do there. The mold seams are not the greatest, as you can probably see there. So I still got some touch-ups to do. Here's the underside. I still got a little bit of paint touch-ups and so forth to do to this. So this was active on the Western Front as a transport plane during the war. And I basically just used the Tamiya spray can for the paint for this, with some masking. That's how I did it. So I'm going to show you the instruction sheet such as it is. And it's in a number of different languages. So it's in Czech, English, and it looks like German is the other one. So you get a little bit of a rundown there, and it's this kind of diagram, blown up diagram with some details underneath. Basically, this paragraph explains how to build the whole plane. So you can see it's a blow-up diagram, and this took a lot of work. This was a challenge to get together. And then a little bit of the history of it, technical description, and then you get the paint options that were supposed to come with a kit, but they were pretty much useless because these decals were a disaster. So I didn't bother with it. But if we take another look at the box, you can see the different variants that they had for it. You know, Czech military post-war, and transport aircraft there. There's another one here, civilian one. Of course, the price tag's in the way, but kind of interesting silverish one with blue stripes on it. That could have been cool. So this is interesting in that this plane had so many different options for painting. And I'll show you some, because I started sourcing a bunch of different options online as to what to do with this. So it could be the Siebel 204 version. So you could do that with it. You know, there's nice Swiss, and then there's post-war Poland. Here's an example of someone who built the Swiss version. It's kind of neat. So I'll get another look at that Swiss one. So there are a lot of choices out there, just depending on which aftermarket decal set you wanted to buy and which one you wanted to experiment with. At this point, I tended to forget which one I bought. I had thought of this for a while, a 3-tone Czech one, because I did have some spare Czech decals lying around. Is that 3 or 2-tone? I think it's 2. No, hard to tell. I think it's actually 2-tone, but the printer didn't print it very well. It's like brown and gray, maybe with blue underneath. And here's another one here. Yeah, the printer is definitely going. So this is another KP Models more recently reissued this kit and as a German Siebel. If you notice, it's got a gun position up top now in that version. This one did not. And here's another example of this is the newer version. Well, shouldn't say that. This looks like a reissue of that kit. No gun position, but this is some other ones that could have been done with that, you know, newer version of that model kit with different military versions. So there's a German one, a Russian one, and the Czech one down the bottom. So it's got a lot of options you could do with this, depending on what you did. What you bought for decals or what kit you picked up. So I got some cleanup to do to this, and this, you know, let's say I tended to fight this a lot. There's a lot of putty down there. You can probably see that. There's this kind of nasty mold seams on there. What I tend to do, and whether this is smart or not, I don't know. But if I know I'm going to have like some sort of a surgery or some sort of minor procedure, excuse me, let me pause this and turn that volume down. Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, so if I know I'm going to have some sort of a procedure or something, sometimes I'll tackle a project like this during the recovery because I'm kind of a captive audience and I might be more determined or want to slog through something. So that's pretty much what this was. And I put it together during that period, and then I just let it sit. So this thing's been sitting around for about 3 years, I guess. And I decided it was time to try to finish this up because once I'm recovered, my patience level is very different. And I just didn't want to slug through the rest of it. So, anyway, coming back to it, I thought I'd take a look and see what I could do. And I don't know, you be the judge. I think it's got a lot of issues still. I think I did the best I could with this and made it look like something. But this whole glass front part just doesn't fit on the airplane well. It's not really that clear. It's a very milky look to it. And then I had masked it the best I could for spraying, but it still has touch-ups necessary. Anyway, this is just a very quick video. I'm not really thrilled with how this came out, but we need content, and sometimes it's good to let people see something that didn't really work, and that's what this is. So this is a kit that did not come out to my standards, but it was fun to try to see what I could do with this kit, knowing that I was starting with a mess to begin with and see just how close to something reasonable I could build. And I've done that on a few other videos here, so you guys that have been following kind of know I have that insane interest in trying to make something out of garbage. For those of you that like that kind of challenge, give this one a try. See what you can do with it. But you are going to run into some headaches. Anyway, that's today's model building workshop, and we'll see you guys soon. All right, keep on building and have fun. Bye.